Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Ignore the band-aid. I'm exhausted, but I wanted to go ahead and film this video because it's gonna be a busy week and I just wanna get it out there because I've been wanting to do it for a little while. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because it only makes sense, because if you guys have watched my other baby name videos, you will know the trend with me is that I just love names that actually are surnames or can be used as last names as well. I don't plan it that way, it just so happens that those are the names that I really like. My daughter's third birthday was today, so I'm like half asleep. It was such a long day, a lot of kiddos, a lot of stuff going on. All her presents and everything are still over here on this side of the room out of camera because it's like a disaster. But I wanted to go ahead and go through the surnames that I love, or whatever I named this title. Surnames that can be used as first names that I love, my favorites list. I have some boy names, some girl names. I'm gonna do it all in one video because we all know I'll promise a girl's video and then it'll be a month from now before I actually get it up. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you want to see more like it, let me know in the comments. I love doing baby name videos. I'm just one of those who has a thing with names. I just love them. So let's get started. I'm gonna do with the boys' names first. There's more boy names, so once we get through those, there's only gonna be a few girl names. But aside from the obvious ones that I like, in my favorite boy name list, you would know that two of my top names that I love, Fitzgerald and Jensen, are both surnames as well. So I'm not gonna include those in this video because I've already included them in my top favorite boy name video, but you guys get the point. So the first name that I love that's a surname that can be used as a first name is the name Walker. There's something about this name that I really like. I think it has something to do with, I just like W as like a boy name. Well, not W as the name, but I like boy names that start with W. I think they're just very masculine. They're very just like tough. I love the name Walker. I've never met a Walker before. Personally, I don't know that I actually would use Walker, only because, again, the nickname thing, I don't know what you would call him for sure. I'm not really a fan of Wally, so I'm not really sure if I actually would use it, but I really like this name. I think it's adorable. The next name that I like is the name Wilson. I actually would use this in real life, but a few years ago, my husband and I had a dog named Wilson. He was named after the Alabama quarterback John Parker Wilson, so that's how long ago we had this dog. And I probably wouldn't use it again because I just don't know if I would want to use a pet's name as a future child's name, but this name is awesome and I love it. The next name I like is the name Anderson, and oddly enough, I think this would be a unisex name for me. I like the name Anderson because you can get the nickname Andy out of it. Of course, if it was a girl named Anderson, I probably would call her Andy. I know it sounds like more of a masculine name, so I'm not sure if I could get away with using it for a female as far as my husband goes. But altogether, I like the name Anderson. I like the way it sounds. I like that you can get Andy out of it. And overall, I just think it's a great name. And I've never met another Anderson. The only thing that I think of with this name is the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Her name was Andy Anderson, Kate Hudson's character. And I just have loved the name ever since. The next thing I like is the name Montgomery. Again, an Alabama trend. Montgomery is the capital of Alabama, I'm pretty sure. And I have used it or seen it used recently. There's a YouTuber that I follow that I love, Growing Up Lewis. She has a son and his middle name is Montgomery, and that's the first time I ever heard it used in real life. Well, YouTube real life, and I have loved it ever since then. And of course, it being a town in Alabama, it makes it even better. The next name I love, there's only two more that have to do with Alabama, guys. I'm sorry, I did not plan it this way. It just happens to be names that I love. But the next name is Bryant. And of course, a nod to Bear Bryant, one of the all-time best Alabama coaches ever. The guy who invented pretty much the using of houndstooth for Alabama's print. In the South, this is a very, very popular middle name. Obviously, for that reason whatsoever. I love the name. Unfortunately, we can never use it because my husband's name is Brian, and having a Brian and a Bryant, I think would be extremely confusing. The next name I love as a last name, as a first name, is the name Cohen. A friend of mine just used this for her son, and I absolutely just love the name. I don't know that I personally would use it, only because again, I don't know what I would call him for short. I really want to name any of my future kids names that have a good, strong nickname that I can use, or they can use if they don't like it. But I love the nickname or the name Cohen. I think it is like a beautiful, like straight to the point name. I do think that sometimes people may mispronounce it and say Cohen. I mean, hopefully not, because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But overall, I really, really like this name. The next name that I love is the name Kenyon, and strangely enough, I heard this name years ago and just forgot about it. I first heard it on the movie Coach Carter, starring Samuel L. Jackson. It was pretty much a movie about a basketball coach who came in and pretty much just shaped these players and changed their lives for the better, trying to keep them on like a really good path, because you have to watch the movie. It's such a good, inspirational movie. I love it so much. Channing Tatum was in the movie. A lot of other people that are famous now were in the movie. Such a good movie. But one of the players' names was Kenyon. I loved it when I heard it, and I forgot all about it until my husband, a year and a half ago, took the job at the hospital in the town that he works in, and the road that the hospital is on is Kenyon. And I'm just like, oh, love that name. I forgot all about it. My husband would never let me use it because Kenny is not a nickname that I really would want to use. I'm not really a fan of the nickname Kenny. But the name Kenyon, I absolutely, absolutely adore. And the last name, the last boy's name that I love is the name Lawson. I really, really love this name. A friend of mine, her little brother's name is Lawson, so that's where I first heard it. So I've heard it for quite a few years now. It's also the name of one of the sons on the show Bringing Up Bates. If you watch that show, they're pretty much like the Duggars, but without any scandals going on. I really like this name too. Again, I'm so repetitive. I don't know what I would call him for short. I feel like a lot of my kids, all my kids, with Aniston, there's people that call her Annie, but I pretty much call her Aniston. But if I want to call her name really quickly, I can say Annie. Like with the name Lawson, I'm not sure what I would call him, like Law. Plus, I don't like the way that I sound saying it. It just feels kind of strange to me. But overall, I love the name Lawson. I think it's a great name. I think it's pretty unique. I don't know anyone personally besides the one person named Lawson, and then of course the one I've seen on Bringing Up Bates. So this name is, I have to look up the statistics on it because I don't think it's really that popular. So it's a really, really gorgeous name. And for the girls list, there's only 5. Wah, wah. But I'll go through this really, really quickly. The first girl's name, surname that can use as a first name that I like is the name Ellison. This was actually on our middle name list for when we had Aniston, before we had chosen Aniston. Piper was a really big contender. My husband really liked that name, and if we had gone with Piper, she would have been Piper Ellison. You can go by Ellie for short. I really, really like the name. It's just very straight to the point. I think everyone could probably spell it. I don't hear it too frequently as a first name. I think I've met 1 or 2, and that to me isn't super popular. So overall, this is a great name, and it is on our middle name list still for if we have a future little girl. I just think even so, you could use it as a boy, I'm assuming. To me, it would sound more like a girl because I only know of girls that have this name. But you could totally be used as a boy's name. You can call him Ellis for short. Either way, it's gorgeous. The next name is the name Monroe. And of course, nod to Marilyn Monroe. This name obviously will bring nostalgia to those Marilyn Monroe fans out there. Tori from Growing Up Lewis, her daughter's new baby girl's middle name is Monroe, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I've only heard of a few Monroes before. I've never met one as a Monroe as someone that has a first name of Monroe, but overall this name is gorgeous. Not sure what the nickname would be. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just so big on having that option if you don't like your name to have a good nickname. And I'm not sure what the nickname would be for this name, but if that's not a problem for you, I say go for it because this name is absolutely stunning. The next name is the name Blake. This could be argued to be unisex as well. I know just as many Blake females as I do males, so I feel like it's truly one of those unisex name. I've heard this name obviously is the last name, which is why it's on this list. I like the name Blake. Everyone can spell it. I mean, as long as it's spelled like the surname is spelled, it should not be misspelled, not mispronounced. I like this name. And I don't think it's one of those names that needs a nickname, with it being one syllable. Ugh, this Band-Aid. I got in a fight with a Capri Sun box and I lost. So, but the name Blake altogether is great. It's to the point. There are certain names like that I love, but other times I'm like, oh, it's too short. It's too short. But Blake's not one of those names. I absolutely love the name Blake. If we didn't have a few friends with a child or children named Blake, it would definitely be on my list for either a boy or a girl. The next name, girl's name, and it's second to last name, is the name Tatum. I adore this name. The name Tatum to me is so cute. All I can think about is a cute little girl with the name Tatum. Call her Tate. I 100% love this name. I have a really close friend who had a daughter named Tatum, or has a daughter named Tatum. So obviously I would never use it personally. For that reason, if we did not have her as a friend, I totally would snag that name and use it. I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite name on this list. And if you have a Tatum, I am totally jealous because I love it. In the last name is the name Holland. Of course, this is also a place name, and you know how I am about place names and last names. So this name kind of pretty much just goes together as like an ultimate, like, gorgeous name that I love. Of course, with Holland, you can call her Holly. There's nothing bad about this name. I totally would use it in the future. If we had a girl next, I'm totally going to throw it out there. Love this name so much. It made the list because I was watching a TV show recently, a really, not old one, about 3 years ago. It was called Reckless, and it only made one season, but I was watching it, and one of the policemen on the show, his last name was Holland, and I'm just like, love it, love it. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments. I'm kind of putting all my energy into of course, the trying to conceive right now, but I totally love doing these videos for you guys. I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.